Eddie? Is that you?
There's no more Eddie and no more symbiote. Only Venom.
I had zero expectations for this movie ever since they announced it. A Venom movie without Spider-Man. I thought, what a stupid fucking idea. And the trailers didn't help. If you know the character, you can't stop thinking about what's missing. The spider logo, the webs, the hate for Peter Parker. But I figured, hey, this is a new version of the character that has a new origin story. One where he doesn't find Peter first but instead finds Brock. But even then, the CGI in the trailers wasn't so convincing. Now, after seeing it, I can honestly say that I didn't hate it. The best part of the movie is the relationship between Venom and Eddie. They gave Venom a strong personality that has him always hungry for human heads and for insults. He's like the asshole friend, always coming up with asshole ideas that are dangerous. And Eddie, being a regular old guy, doesn't want to do that. Them arguing back and forth was funny and cool and was the better part of this movie. That is what makes the Venom character interesting and is what the movie got right, that it's a partnership. Tom Hardy is so dedicated to the role. He is so entertaining to watch when he's spazzing out and arguing with the voice in his head. And the Venom voice just sounds cool as fuck, like what a classic comic book villain would sound like. I could almost hear him cry out for Spider-Man.
I want Spider-Man!
The movie got a little spooky at times, which I liked because it made for a grittier film. That's something Disney would never allow in one of their films, especially a Spider-Man one. But they didn't fully commit to the scary aspects of the film. The first 30 minutes almost has no action, so they put in scary moments to get the ball rolling. Then later in the film it becomes a giant cartoon. Not a bad thing, cause I love cartoons, and Venom is a cartoon character essentially. But it seems like they originally planned to make the film much darker than the final product. When some people get infected by a symbiote, they get all possessed, which looked great. They're like demons. But because it's a little scary, then a little funny, then a little superhero-like, it makes for an inconsistent film. Sure, it's great to be surprised when watching a movie, but the inconsistency is what makes you realize you're watching a movie instead of being fully immersed in it. The writing in Venom is fucking atrocious. None of the characters are fleshed out enough to be able to describe what kind of people they are, other than their job titles. Eddie Brock is the best journalist ever, except he's absolute trash at what he does. He fucks up everything and makes you think, how is this dumbass the best journalist? Ultimately, he takes on the whole Venom mission for no reason other than he had nothing else to do. His love interest has no personality other than she is hardworking, which isn't really explored at all in the movie. The villain is the most generic fucking evil scientist type ever. His entire motivation is that this is the next step of evolution. We don't know anything about him or his past, why he's obsessed with advancing humankind. He just wants to do things because Venom needs someone to fight at the end. Minor spoilers, but I don't think there can even be spoilers for this movie since there isn't really anything surprising, but the villain Drake also has a symbiote but has no relationship with it at all. We're supposed to assume it's because the symbiote Riot found him most useful for his mission, so he chose him as a host, I guess. But we just spent over an hour seeing Eddie and Venom fall in love. It would have been nice to see Riot and Drake go through something similar. Then we could at least get to know the villain more instead of him just being evil scientist guy. There's other weird things that characters say and do that seem kind of random, but despite all its weirdness and lack of depth, the movie was still badass and funny. It wasn't trying to be deep, it was just having fun. When Venom is Venom throwing people around, biting heads off, it's badass. At one point, he even almost swings, which is such a freaking tease, damn it. I was entertained throughout. If you're thinking about seeing it, then you should, because it's exactly what it looks like. Just a bunch of nonsensical fun. I give Venom a 7.5 out of 10. Later.